Hello everyone, it's me. I now want to give a stern warning today. You know that person named Zoe? She ruined Fake's career, and now she prefers to retire. And I have proof. When I DM Fake on Instagram, and she explained that the person forced her to scratch her thigh. To draw her own girlfriend's name, you use the word love as a weapon to hurt others. Forcing someone to prove their love with physical pain is not only selfish, it's a sign of disrespect for the lives and feelings of others. This kind of behavior won't make you loved by anyone. People will avoid you, not because they're unfaithful, but because you're toxic and a danger to their safety. Fix yourself before you find yourself completely alone and in trouble with the law. And threatening to release someone's privacy and photos demonstrates a lack of integrity. You use other people's fears to cover up your own insecurities and mistakes. Zoe, have you ever cared even a little about what Fake went through before meeting you? She has a very traumatic past, a wound that hasn't fully healed to this day. Imagine how cruel you are, while she's struggling to heal and trust others again. You come along and inflict new wounds, physically and mentally. You know she's already broken, yet you deliberately destroy her again in an even crueler way. Forcing her to hurt herself is like awakening a monster from her past. You're not her refuge, but rather her new nightmare. If you have a heart, you should be the one protecting her from further harm, not wielding a knife to hurt her. Using someone's trauma to control them is the lowest form of behavior. You're not only breaking the law, you're also crossing the boundaries of humanity. So, your actions could permanently worsen Fake's PTSD if something bad happens to Fake's mental health or well-being because of your pressure. You'll not only face the wrath of your friends, but you'll also face severe legal consequences for abusing someone who is mentally ill. Medically and legally, committing violence against someone with PTSD has much more serious consequences. Zoe, listen carefully, because this is your last warning before it's too late and your life is ruined by legal action. 5. I know you've been invading Fake's privacy and forcibly sharing her photos on Twitter and other social media. I demand that you delete all of that content without a trace, immediately. Zoe G. Bent Strafbar, onder de Nederlandse Wet. Based on Article 139H Wetboek van Strafrecht, spreading intimate photos is a cybercrime. You also violated a VGGDPR by leaking Fake's privacy. The Dutch police polity take cases of online shaming and mental abuse against PTSD sufferers very seriously. Delete everything within hours, or this case will be officially reported to cyber authorities. Zoe, do you realize how devastating your actions are? You've not only physically harmed Fake, but you've also robbed her of her freedom. YouTube is her outlet for expression, perhaps the only place she feels productive amidst her mental struggles. Now, because of your terror, because of your threats, she's been forced to stop. You've destroyed the dreams and future she's worked so hard to build. Knowing he has PTSD and still pressuring her to the point where he's scared to death to appear in public is a truly heinous act. And also too, Jeff, you got a stern warning too, because you are a pedophile. And Zoe, do you feel victorious now that you've seen he suffer and hide? What a coward to feel superior by extinguishing someone else's light. Give her back his freedom, remove all threats, or you'll pay for this in court. Vega is currently unconscious and not breathing normally. Sudden cardiac arrest means her heart stops pumping blood to her brain and other vital organs. The overwhelming grief, the stress of her PTSD, and the extreme panic attacks can be overwhelming for her nervous system and heart. She's not just sick, her heart has stopped functioning, and this is a life or death situation. And the condition that Fake suffers from is broken heart syndrome. This condition is triggered by a sudden surge of stress hormones such as adrenaline due to very strong emotions, such as fear, being threatened, or emotional shock, which often occurs due to bullying. So Fake is a victim of bullying and has old wounds inside her. Listen carefully. I'm not bluffing. I'm not talking nonsense, and I'm not exaggerating. What you did was completely out of line. Currently, Faika is struggling between life and death in the hospital. She suffered sudden cardiac arrest due to the immense mental stress and PTSD trauma you repeatedly triggered. You didn't just hurt her feelings, you nearly stopped her heart. And I will tell you that she suddenly got sudden cardiac arrest. Faika was sobbing, her body trembling violently from the PTSD triggered by Zoe's threats. As I tried to calm her down, whispering that everything would be okay, she suddenly gasped for breath. Her face paled, and her hands clutched her chest tightly, as if 1,000 tons of weight were pressing down on her heart. It wasn't just ordinary shortness of breath, it was sudden cardiac arrest, triggered by extreme emotional distress. Her heart couldn't handle the mental terror Zoe was inflicting. Within seconds, her eyes lost focus, and her body went limp in my arms. Upon arrival at Amsterdam UMC, the emergency team SPOTUS and HULP immediately began resuscitation. In the cold hospital hallway, doctors attempted to restore the patient's heart rhythm. Do you know her now? She is under the close supervision of the cardiology and psychiatry teams. Doctors understand the link between severe PTSD and sudden cardiac arrest. This case will be recorded as a direct consequence of systematic mental and physical abuse, and also patient privacy. Hospitals like Amsterdam UMC have very strict security protocols for abused patients. They will not allow the perpetrator or unauthorized information to enter their medical records. So don't record it for your evidence. So that's all the warnings for Zoe. I hope you understand. And the video ends here. See you later.